A prime example of a composer ahead of his time in England. Basil Lamb in the programme book says, as for Dowland, it may be claimed that here we have the greatest master of solo song, not only of the 16th and early 17th centuries, but also perhaps any period before Schubert. But then he goes on to say, of course, we don't know much about Dowland's music, it's not currently performed very much, and the main reason for this is that the instrument that Dowland accompanied himself with, the lute, is now obsolete since 1951. In fact, people have been reconstructing and learning to play the lute since the late 1800s, but obviously this was still considered to be a rather unprofessional and amateur's area of interest. There were no really good professional lute players in 1951, so they substituted the nearest instrument they could find, which was the harpsichord. It actually says in the programme book, unfortunately, the lute is not, and was never intended to be, a concert instrument. There are now hundreds of professional lute players who give the lie to that, but this is 60 years ago, and things have changed quite dramatically in that period. And so that these pieces will be therefore played in transcription. So what we're going to do is a performance of one of Dowland's four-part airs, and a song for four voices, If My Complaints, using the harpsichord rather than the lute as an accompaniment. And in case you wonder whether Dowland was entirely politically correct, he dedicates this as a galliard to Captain Diggory Piper, who was actually a pirate. Queen Elizabeth gave Diggory Piper a license to go and harry the Spanish, but he ended up attacking English allies' fleets and got had up by the Danish court in particular, and Elizabeth had to rescue him and say he was actually quite a good guy, let him off. So we've got here a rather nefarious character being represented in this song, If My Complaints.